The Syndicate, Aston Villa, under new management, our boy Unai Emery. They are sitting at plus 260 home underdog against Manchester United, who is a plus 100 road favorite, with the draw sitting at plus 260. Obviously, Unai Emery was not in charge when they got drubbed 4-0 on the road against Newcastle last week. But I am interested to get your thoughts on if Unai Emery, what he can change at Aston Villa to turn what is a pretty talented roster, honestly, into essentially what we thought at the beginning of the season, which would be a team that would be battling as the best team outside of the Big Six.
Yeah, I can't take credit for this take because the double pivot guys made a good point about this and mentioned how Emery had excellent passers at Villarreal. Like, they were really well built to play how he wanted in the conservative possession, and actually were an effective low block team when they needed to be in the Champions League. But then when they were in La Liga playing lower sides, they were actually a very good possession side because of the passing. Do they have that at Villa? I don't know. I'm not so sure. I think there's definitely some more of a challenge. They also have more attackers on the pitch that normally, like Ings and Watkins and Buendia and Coutinho. Like, that's a lot of attacking players, and Emery is not known for loading up his lineup full of attackers. So that will be interesting. But I think in this match specifically, while he's still working out the kinks, we're going to see a very conservative Villa approach against a Big Six team, a United team that's playing much better. The most impressive thing that I've seen from United has been that they have been so much better out of possession. And it really has started in the Liverpool match way back after the Brentford and Brighton debacles. They were much better out of possession against Liverpool. And I think they've remained that way in every match. Okay, yeah, they got drubbed by Man City. They will not be the only team to do that.
Yeah.
But against Arsenal, they were pretty good out of possession. The Everton match, they dominated. The Newcastle match, they didn't create much, but they were good out of possession. Spurs match controlled the flow of the game. So I think what we're seeing now is that the defense is making significant improvements. Under 1 expected goal allowed to Everton, Newcastle, Spurs, West Ham. They allowed a little over 1 to Chelsea, but again, that was with the penalty.
Right.
So the defense has made significant improvements just by being better without the ball. I don't think they're an elite defensive team, but I think they're better. Now they go on the road. I still have questions about the attack. They started Ronaldo. He's cooked, man. Like, every time he's out there, their attack is just worse. And they're not getting a lot of production from Sancho and even Anthony. Like, I love him, but like, he's not producing a ton. Their average shot distance is super long. That's a concern. Like, the attack is not right. I think if we're talking about United now as an improved United, they're better defensively than they ever were in the last 2 years. And the attack is still not there. I'm betting the under here. 2.5 minus 104. I think Villa will be very conservative. They'll be at home. They're going to struggle to keep the ball here, but I don't see United running up the score on a good defense.
Yeah, I'll be on Aston Villa plus half a goal at minus 130. You mentioned the United attack. Anthony is out. Bruno Fernandes is on a yellow card suspension. Jadon Sancho is questionable. So now they're going to have to roll with Ronaldo, who, like we said, is cooked. Marcus Rashford has been in good form, and Anthony Elanga. So that's not the greatest attack when you're going up against what we believe is one of the better low blocks in the Premier League. And the good news is Unai Emery at Villarreal, what he did such a good job of is when they did play those bigger sides is he would just compress the space in between the lines and essentially create what we saw, honestly, with Atletico Madrid for so many years when they became way, way, way too defensive. But what he's going to have to fix with Aston Villa, like you mentioned, they had good passers at Villarreal. It's that transition into offense, which Gerrard could not figure out because Aston Villa consistently was near the bottom in expected goals. They weren't able to transition the ball and get it moving forward out of that low block to actually counter people. So I tend to agree with you that, yeah, under 2.5 is a good way to look at this. In terms of spots, this is not a good one for United. Like, they go on the road for a very, very important Europa League match against Sociedad on Thursday, one they have to win the group. This is their 5th match in 14 days. It's a back-to-back travel spot. Even defensively, Varane is still out. So, I have some major question marks about United. And Villa, they might turn into essentially the Crystal Palace of last season. Their home road splits are actually quite drastic. They're at plus 1.9 at home and minus 5.5 on the road. So I'll be on the Syndicate, plus half a goal at minus 130.